February 27, 2024. And we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner O'Grady.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those calling in, please ensure that your line is muted. Thank you so much. Before we get into our regular agenda, I'm pleased to recognize two very special guests who are with us this morning. The first is our good friend, T Street. Where's T? Oh, there she, hey, T Street. T Street's here, all right. Who administers the Health and Science Academy on behalf of Partners Achieving Community Transformation, which we help fund through a grant from Jobs and Family Services. And joining her this morning is the principal of Trevitt Elementary School. Where's the principal of Trevitt Elementary School? Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Dr. Keisha Fletcher Bates. Many of the students and families served by Trevitt Elementary face very significant challenges, but I understand that the school is rising in the rankings. Can't wait to hear about that from the Ohio Department of Education, and that big things are going on at Trevitt. Ms. Street and Dr. Fletcher Bates, please join us at the podium right here and tell us a little bit about the transformation that you see and the wonderful students that you get to work with each day. Ms. Street, there's a little lever on there that moves the podium up and down to the right there. You can just kind of, gotta hold it and it'll just move. There you go, there you go.
Appreciate that. You can, the team can come.
Yeah, come on up, everybody.
Young people, whole team. Sheldon, you all can come. In addition to, good morning, commissioners.
Good morning. Good
morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Administrator Wilson, thank you all for the seeds that you plant. This is just some of the fruit that comes forth from the seeds that you plant with your belief that we can transform Franklin County. I'm T Street. I'm the director of the Health Sciences Academies. I'm blessed to be able to do the work that we do with the Health Sciences Academies on behalf of Partners Achieving Community Transformation. Their executive director, Sheldon Johnson, can you wave, Sheldon? Is here with us this morning, and also the Ohio State University. Trudy Bartley, my boss, asked me to bring you greetings. She's at a commissioners meeting this morning for downtown commissioners, but she asked me to bring you greetings on her behalf. We hear a lot about the problems. Rarely do we bring forth for you some of the solutions. Today, I'm humbled, and I'm gonna do my best to not be emotional. But when you see lives transformed with vision, because there's a book that reads, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." When you see people put forth vision with your dollars that make a difference in the lives of children and families, you have to shout about it, because we hear so much negative about what's not happening with schools, but rarely do we see kids who are rising. I sent Deputy Administrator Bivens a note just to say thank you. Thank you for your investment and your support, and to ask her to share it with you all, because earlier this year we received a letter from the Ohio Department of Education letting Trevitt, who in 2019 was the lowest educationally ranked school in Region 3 for Columbus City Schools, that we were no longer in school improvement, that we have moved for 2 consecutive years beyond the expectations that our students were expected to reach, and as a result of that, we were no longer in school improvement. And if you understand education, that's something to cheer about. And so I wanted to bring that before you, because you fund the Health Sciences Academies, all 5 of them. You help us with extracurricular things, but you also, Dr. Bates is going to talk a little bit about the specific thing that you funded that has made a difference in the rise in academics, because you cannot serve part of children, you have to serve the whole child. And so Trevitt is blessed. We have an extraordinary, and my office sits in Trevitt, so I'm biased. We have an extraordinary leader. The job of an instructional leader is to set the vision for that building. I can assure you that Trevitt is in the best hands possible. We have one of the most extraordinary, contemporary educational instructional leaders that I've ever known. Dr. Keisha Fletcher Bates came to Trevitt during a storm. She came in 2019, and then just 4 months later, we entered COVID. and had to weather that storm. And during that time, she stepped up. She found partners who would support our children through that. But I want her to come and talk to you a little bit about the academic progress that we've seen and how your investment has made a difference for the children and families. And she brought her team, some of the members of her team, but we also know that the most important people that she brought are two of the students who are here today from Trevitt Elementary School. And so I will allow Dr. Bates to introduce her team, but I wanted to come before you on behalf of Pact and The Ohio State University to simply say thank you for your investment in the Near East Side.
If you can just hit that button, you gotta hold it, yeah, and then go to get it to your adjustment. There you go.
Thank you. Good morning, esteemed board. Thank you for the opportunity and the recognition. Thank you, T. I am Dr. Bates, the principal, and I'd like to introduce my team. First, I'd like to introduce Javea Hill. She is a 5th grade student, and Javea played an important role in what I'm going to talk with you about this morning regarding our school sensory room. She was the student representative in helping me create the room and gave me the feedback from the student vision and lens and what would be effective for students that she thought, and the newest and innovative toys that I didn't understand or know about. She was able to say, no, Dr. Bates, this is the no. And so she helped me through that. And as a result of that, the items that she selected have been very helpful for our students. So she played such a big role in that. I asked her to join us today. Thank you, Javea. And this is Sarah, I apologize, please forgive me, Sarah Mayo, and she's a 4th grader at Trevitt and a new student to our school. I'd like to introduce Mr. Crawford. Mr. Crawford is our parent ambassador, and he also was a former teacher, and then he retired, and then he came back as our parent ambassador, so we're very grateful for Mr. Crawford. Mrs. McDowell is our pre-K teacher. Mrs. Walder, who is our social worker, and Mrs. Walder played a pivotal role in the design of the room, as well as she does her lessons for students for social emotional learning. And the wonderful Mrs. Johnson, she is a teacher in the 4th grade, but she's also our reading specialist in that she services and leads the reading for our school. The members of our team here are our building leadership team that are represented today. And so we wanted to thank you and just commend you for the work. Your recent funding of our school sensory room has been effective in helping us attain academic achievement, because what it does is it provides the students the social emotional skills that are needed so that they can self-regulate their behavior. We all get angry, we all get frustrated, but when the students know and have the tools to use so that they can calm them and control them, those skills are transferable and lifelong skills. And so we're very grateful for the opportunity to speak before you this morning and for the recognition. And we just really want to shout out T Street, because while she would have told me absolutely inappropriate, Dr. Bates, I'm going for it. Okay? I'm going for it because I don't think everybody knows when someone's rooting for you and when someone is in your corner on the days that seem the bleakest, and they stand before you and say, I'm here, I'm for you, Dr. Bates. You can get through this. And because of that, I'm here. And I want to be clear about that. And she means everything to the science academies. I'm just one of the others. But for our school, we're very grateful for her work. We're grateful for her energy, her spirit, her resistance, and her persistence, and her pursuit to ensure that we get funding to help us implement the health science academies. So thank you again. We appreciate it.
Any of the students want to say anything? I see you working your way to that mic. Go ahead, step on up in there. Yeah.
Hi. I'm Javea.
That's okay. That's enough. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm a kid who has anxiety, and I don't like being in front of people. So that's why I did the sensory room to help other kids.
Did so well. Give it a round. I'm absolutely certain my colleagues will have something to say, but let me just begin on behalf of the Board of Commissioners to say congratulations on a job well done. So many times, no matter what school you are in or what part of this community you live in, the challenges that can overwhelm a building and even a region can be significant. And the only way that we have success in overcoming them, I know this from my own personal story, is when we work together like this, when we commit, work together, and really invest in the lives of our young people. I grew up in the area, never actually went to Trevitt, but I went to Pilgrim and I went to East. So Trevitt was just, at my middle school times, were in another part of this community in Linden. But I know historically what the community, the challenges that Trevitt faces. So when you see a group of folks come together and really commit, is something that we've got to figure out how to replicate in every building, in every community that faces the kind of challenges that our Near East Side has historically faced. And then finally, let me just say to the young people that are here, you're the leaders. You're the leaders of this entire conversation. I know the adults kind of drive the day-to-day schedule, but at the end of the day, everyone is watching you. We're feeding off of you. We're building off of you. And most importantly, we believe in you. We believe in you. And so I want to thank you for being here and stepping up. It is a lot to come before a bunch of adults in a room, but I want you to know that you being here means something for so many kids just like you. So many people with the same age, with the same interests, with the same challenges. You represent a greater and bigger cause, and I'm so proud of you for what you represent and the achievements that you're part of in Trevitt and in the Near East Side. So thank you so much for everything that you all are doing. So, colleagues, anything?
Sure, I can.
Go ahead.
Thank you, President Boyes. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Ms. T. Thank you to Mysore, Dr. Bates, for all that you are doing to bring partners together, to bring, this opportunity for students to us, and then come back to really explain what the investment means to Trevitt. And you started out saying by our dollars. These are not our dollars at all. These are taxpayer dollars, and I don't see any better way of investing taxpayer dollars, but for our children, investing in our children. When I was a legislator, I served on primary and secondary education, and the first school that extended an invitation to me to come to the pre-K classroom was Trevitt. And people know that, the best part of my job is being with kids and being with students. It warms my heart. I'm emotional this morning to see Javea come up with anxiety and still speak in front of everyone and talk about how the sensory room has made a difference for her. And if it made a difference for her, I know it made a difference, and it's making a difference for so many other students. That's bravery, that's courage, and I know PJ is in the room, our early care, early childhood administrator. I always mess up the title, but as we continue to be in conversations about what it looks like to invest in our most precious citizens, which are our students and our kiddos, it's not just the academics. I think that the academics comes, but we have to remain focused on social and emotional investment. And we talk about that at Future Ready. We talk about that as we are building a child care center right next door or attached to this building, or when we think about our expanded learning strategy that we're working very hard on. It is critical, and we talk a lot about social and emotional investment. If we are not investing in those things, then it doesn't matter if we're talking about ABCs 1, 2, 3s or algebra or all of reading comprehension. If I'm not regulated, if I'm not able to focus, if I'm not able to deal with interacting with others in the classroom or even with our teachers. And so I am proud to hear about how far Trevitt has come. I am so grateful for you all in prioritizing, this school, but this program, and I hope that it is a reflection of what can happen here in Columbus City Schools. And so thank you so much for all that you all do each and every day.
So, thank you to my colleagues for their words, but I want to say thank you to all of you. To the faculty and to the adults and parents that are here, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. To you two youngsters, Commissioner Boyce, thanked you for the example that you're setting for the other kids at the school, the other kids that are in your classes. But I want to say thank you to you two for reminding us of what we've done, to help you guys, because we don't get that often. We make investments, and we in the community, and we don't always get to see the example of or the result of our investment. And so today, all of you coming here today and reminding us of our investment in the community and the result of our investment in your school is it's big. It's big for me. It's big. I'm sure it's big for the three of us. So thank you for that. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for showing us what we were able to do with the residents of Franklin County's money. And Commissioner Crowley is absolutely correct. It's not our money. We do this on behalf of the community. And so the example that you two students are for the rest of your classmates is huge, but it's also a great reminder for the three of us, and a great example for the three of us in what the success has been here, and for us to continue to do things like this, and to be able to continue to make these type of investments, not just in Trevitt, but in other schools in this community. So thank you all for being here and coming here today to remind us of the impact that we make when we make investments like this. So thank you.
Thank you.
I think we want to take a group picture, if that's. You want to take a group picture?
You want to take a picture?
Yeah, all right, we'll come on right forward.
And you were in Mr. Terry's class when you read that book in 2018-19 school year. Yeah. Love you.
Everybody says that to me. Sorry. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You read.
No, thank you.
Okay, we're going to keep moving along. And the last thing before the engineers' resolutions, I'd like to invite anyone watching here at the session or elsewhere in the county complex to join us today at lunchtime in Cafe Overlook for a special musical performance to celebrate local Black musicians during Black History Month. Saxophonist Tim Tobler will be playing from 11:30 to 1:30 in the cafeteria on the 16th floor. It's free and open to everyone, and we hope that you'll come up and join us. All right. First up, the drainage engineer.
Resolution number 15524, resolution approving a ditch maintenance petition for villages at Galloway, Phases 1, 2, 3, and 4, Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners. On behalf of Brad Foster, Franklin County Drainage Engineer and Franklin County Engineer, I'm Nick Stoulis, Government Affairs Liaison. Commissioners, this first resolution seeks approval of the ditch maintenance petition for the drainage improvements within the villages at Galloway, Phases 1 through 4, located in Prairie Township. Approval of the petition will ensure that these drainage improvements will be properly maintained through the establishment of an annual maintenance fund. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I will move approval of Resolution 15524.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 15524 has been adopted.
Engineer's office.
Mr. President, we do have a public hearing for
Oh,
this.
okay. We have a public hearing for Resolution 156-24. Can the clerk please read the public hearing?
Plans approved for the 2024 resurfacing program for various Franklin County roads, Franklin County, Ohio.
I would like to open up the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here in the audience who would like to speak at this public hearing? Okay, seeing that there are none, I'd like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 15624, plans approved for the 2024 resurfacing program for various Franklin County roads, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this resolution, as the title suggests, would approve the plans for our 2024 resurfacing program for various Franklin County roads. The plans, specifications, and estimates have been prepared and approved by the county engineer and submitted as a part of this resolution before you. The next step after approval, subject to approval of this resolution, will be to schedule a bid opening, which is anticipated to be March 19th. And the project is scheduled to begin in spring of 24. So pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 15624.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 15624 has been adopted. Resolution number 15724, Greenman Peterson Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing construction inspection services for the Reese Road 0.23 over Big Walnut Creek Bridge Project, Hamilton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $262,120.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks approval of a contract with Greenman Peterson. They will assist us with the construction inspection services for the Reese Road over Big Walnut Creek Bridge project. Greenman Peterson is a local engineering firm and was chosen via the engineer's qualifications-based selection process. The project is looking to rehabilitate the existing bridge and is funded by CEAO local bridge program grants. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 15724.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 15724 has been adopted. Resolution number 15824, Jacobs Engineering Group Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing detailed engineering design services for the Fishinger Road 0.46 over Scioto River Bridge Project, Norwich Township, City of Columbus, Franklin County, in the amount of $422,039.
Commissioners, this next resolution seeks approval of a contract with Jacobs Engineering Group. As indicated in the title, it's for the Fishinger Road over Scioto River Bridge project. They will be providing detailed design services. Jacobs is a local engineering firm, was chosen via the engineer's qualification-based selection process. And this project will look to rehabilitate the existing bridge and will accommodate the addition of a shared use path. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 158-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 158-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 159-24, establishing, altering, and widening of Norton Road, County Road number 3, and Owen Street, Township Road number 1582, Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this resolution, along with the next two, are very similar in nature in that they involve our 2023 Safe Routes to School program utilizing ODOT dollars. As we had mentioned in briefing in the previous meeting, as a matter of fact, the Safe Routes to School program provides funding and technical assistance to encourage and enable students in grades K through 12 to walk or ride their bikes to school. The program will reimburse up to $100,000 of eligible costs, up to the cap of $500,000 for the 2023 program. Declaring a project necessary is the first legislative step that will allow our office to prepare plans and specifications and ultimately allow for the construction of the improvements. Now, this first project seeks to implement a pedestrian hybrid beacon on Norton Road at Owen Street. Also construct sidewalks on Owen Street and crosswalk striping and curb and drainage work along and near Norton Middle School. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 159-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 159-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 160-24, establishing, altering, and widening of Amesbury Way, Township Road number 1874, and Schoolhouse Lane, Township Road number 1932, Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this next Safe Routes to School resolution will implement a speed table, rectangular rapid flashing beacon, sidewalks, ADA curb ramps, and crosswalk striping along Amesbury Way and Schoolhouse Lane adjacent to the Prairie Lincoln Elementary School. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 160-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 160-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 161-24, establishing, altering, and widening of Charing Cross Street, Prairie Township, and City of Columbus, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this last Safe Routes to School resolution seeks to make a sidewalk connection to the school, Norton Middle School, from the existing sidewalk that currently runs from Charing Cross Street to the Norton Middle School property line. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 161-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 161-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 162-24, replacement or rehabilitation of Gyrick Road over a tributary of Little Darby Creek, Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this resolution will seek to declare necessary the improvement of Gyrick Road over Little Darby Creek, a tributary of Little Darby Creek. It's located in Pleasant Township, and we are seeking to replace the existing structure. We are anticipating performing this work with our own forces. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 162-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 162-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 163-24, report first of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the 2023 CDBG Chambers Road Improvement Project, Clinton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $4,251.
Commissioners, this resolution seeks compensation for one property owner abutting the Chambers Road Improvement Project in Clinton Township that runs from Kenny Road to Hess Boulevard. This project is funded by, or is anticipated to be funded by CDBG funding through the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department, and it's located in Clinton Township. We will be constructing sidewalks along the roadway. We successfully negotiated with the property owner in this case, and compensation is based on appraised fair market value. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 16324.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 16324 has been adopted. Resolution number 16424, approval of the villages at Galloway Phases 1, 2, and 3, subdivision plats, Prairie Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, our final resolution seeks approval of the subdivision plats for the villages at Galloway Phases 1, 2, and 3. Subdivision is located in Prairie Township on Galloway Road between O'Hara Road and Hall Road. Approval of this resolution is the last legislative step, and it will allow the developer to begin to sell lots and start building homes. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 16424.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 16424 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a great day.
Thank
You
you,
too.
too. Prosecuting Attorney?
Resolution number 16524, resolution approving a consulting services contract with Mapsys Incorporated in the amount of $1,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jesse Armstrong, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, on behalf of Franklin County Prosecutor Gary Tyak. This resolution would approve a contract with Mapsys Inc. in an amount not to exceed $1,000. The services provided under this contract will assist the prosecutor's office connection between its matrix system and the Court of Common Pleas case information online. Pending any questions, we would request your approval. Thank you.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 16524.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 16524 has been adopted. Resolution number 16624, resolution authorizing the payment of attorney fees and costs awarded by the Federal District Court to Courthouse News Service.
Good morning, Commissioners. Janine Hummer, First Assistant to Prosecutor Gary Tyak. This resolution authorizes the payment of attorney fees to Courthouse News Services as a result of a lawsuit they filed against the Franklin County Clerk of Courts. They had requested $241,120.40 in attorney fees. The prosecutor's office contested that amount, and the court ruled reducing that amount by over $100,000, resulting in an award of $135,936 in attorney fees and costs as a result of this claim. Pending any questions, we'd ask for approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 16624.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 16624 has been adopted.
All right. Economic Development Planning. Or did I skip one? I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong page. Office of Aging.
Resolution number 16724, resolution authorizing a partnership with Spencer for Hire Media LLC and sponsoring the 4th Annual Caring for the Caregiver Expo at the Boathouse venue in the amount of $30,000.
Good morning, County Administration and Commissioners. This is Shonda Wingo, the Director for Office on Aging. Before I read the summary, we are requesting permission to swap out the summary that was uploaded as it's incorrect. All other documents are correct. The summary was incorrectly uploaded.
No formal action needs to be taken for that to happen. Thanks for the notification.
Okay, thank you. So this resolution authorizes a partnership with Spencer for Hire LLC, sponsoring the 5th Annual Caring for the Caregiver Expo in the total amount of $30,000. In the state of Ohio, 1.5 million people fill the role of unpaid paid caregivers. Caregivers provide countless hours in caring for loved ones such as their parents, spouses, partners, and friends. With long hours around the clock, many are exhausted physically, mentally, and emotionally. In addition, kinship caregivers are also on the rise as there are more and more grandparents and relatives care full-time for minor children. In Ohio alone, there are over 230,000 children under the age of 18 that live with their grandparents or a relative. To help give back to the caregivers and kinship caregivers, we partner with Spencer for Hire to offer a free day at the Boathouse in November. It's a whole full day of first responders, caregivers, essential workers, parents, grandparents, guardians, anyone who is in that caregiving space, to have a day of massages, reflexology, a host of workshops, facials, tons of vendors and education, all in the caregiving and senior space. The attendance for this expo is expected to reach 500 caregivers this year. This resolution, in partnership with Spencer for Hire, again, is for the 5th annual Caring for the Caregiver Expo, which will be November 2nd, 2024, not to exceed the amount of $30,000. This resolution supports the goal number 9 of the Rise Together Blueprint, and pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval for this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 167-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 167-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Community partnerships.
Resolution number 168-24, resolution authorizing a one-year grant agreement with the Greater Columbus Arts Council in support of Franklin County artists, arts organizations, and cultural facilities in the amount of $4 million.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration, Curtis Brown, Community Partnerships Administrator. The first resolution will provide a grant to the Greater Columbus Arts Council in the amount of $4 million. This grant will be utilized to provide grants to local artists and advance the culture of the region through collaboration with artists and arts organizations that educate and engage all audiences in our community. Here to discuss the artist grants further is the Executive Director of the Greater Columbus Arts Council, Tom Katzenbauer, and he brought some guests with him.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here again this year. Thank you, President Boyce, Commissioners Crawley and O'Grady. I've also got a portion of my staff here. I want to give them a shout out. So Jamie Goldstein, who you all know, she's leading the public art planning effort, which you have so graciously funded with the city. I've got my grants team here, -1. Allison Barrett, who's the Vice President of Grants and Services, Mackenzie Swinehart, who's Director, Kayla Carr, and we're missing Ariel Peguero. These folks are responsible largely for the money that we're putting out in the community. I'm very proud of their efforts. I'm going to talk to you about some of their results. So last year, it was our 50th year. I was here for that, and we awarded more funding than ever, as well as imagining how we continue to be excellent stewards of your public funds for the next 50 years. So let me give you a few key highlights of investments in artists, arts organizations in our community last year. So funding to organizations increased significantly. Once more, we awarded more than $12 million to 101 organizations and projects. Funds for artists, again, reached historically high levels. We funded 1,123 artists. They received more than $1.8 million in non-competitive grants. Those numbers will go up this year. Our grants and community engagement team here hosted a public survey and multiple sessions in 2023, connecting with more than 500 people in the arts community. These interactive sessions helped us restructure our funding to artists for 2024 to better serve their disciplines and their level of experience in our community. In our ongoing efforts towards more diversity, equity, and inclusion, we launched a community ambassador program called the GCAC Navigators, with 18 artists who received a stipend to spend the year reaching out to artists in our community. They are multidisciplinary and multilingual, and it is a richly diverse group They tackled their job of connecting their peers with our resources with gusto. And this year, we've welcomed a class of 26. So we have 26 navigators now out in the community representing us. They've been trained in our programs, and they're reaching out to their friends and organizations and other groups of people that we might not be exposed to. We have a new festival director, Alexis Perrone, and a new coordinator, Kenneth Eady, who some of you know. We embraced all the new development that's happening on the Scioto Peninsula, and there'll be more changes over there this year. We had the patron party at the Junto. I hope some of you came to that. It was the first night, actually, that the hotel was open, so it was quite a splashy event. We doubled the number of hands-on activities for children and families at the festival. It'll be June 7th through 9th this year, so mark your calendars. You'll get save the date on that. And the patron party is going to be back at the Cultural Arts Festival, at the Cultural Arts Center on Main Street there. We have dived deeply into public art. You're very familiar with this through research and investment. In fact, Curtis is representing you on that steering committee. So with your support and the City of Columbus, we've started Greater Columbus Greater Art, which is the initiative to develop the first public art plan for our community. We hired Lord Cultural Resources to guide the 14-month initiative. We're sort of halfway through it. The first part has been all about public outreach, where we've engaged more than 2,000 people in the county in this effort. This work continues, and we expect the final plan will be presented in June of this year, in a couple months. We've also launched a new mural assistance program, which Kayla is running. That's open now, right, if I remember right? Just closed. We're going to do 31 new murals this year in the community. We did 20 last year, actually with some nonprofit partners, including the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, Boys and Girls Club of Central Ohio, and Zora's House. And we held our second Big Arts Night, which some of you have been to, with a celebration of our 50th anniversary and the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, with a night of awards, music, dance, visual arts, and drag at the Southern Theater and the Westin Great Southern Hotel. We celebrated $198,000 that night in awards to individuals, including $125,000 in Artist Elevated Awards, which is supported through private funds through 2 endowments that we have at the Columbus Foundation. That same event this year is October 24th, so mark your calendars. We'd love to have you up on stage with us. The same format, same location, and it will be free, completely accessible to the public. We've also rebuilt our website and Film Columbus website. We're going to double the amount of money in film grants this year, and those will open up on March 1st. At GCAC, we believe the arts are an essential thread in the fabric of our community, supporting nearly 11,000 jobs and weaving together diverse voices, perspectives, and experiences that make our county vibrant culturally and economically. So as we begin this new year, the programs I mentioned will continue to serve as the foundation for our growing creative community. GCAC strives to be a catalyst for innovation and growth in the arts every day. We're committed to fueling a more vibrant creative sector and connected community, one that will serve us for the next 50 years. We are incredibly grateful for your support. I wanted to thank you again, and we love when you're out in the community joining us at these activities. I'd be happy to take any questions.
I guess I'll start. One, thanks, Tom and GCAC, to your entire team, your board, and all those who represent the broader conversation about the defining Central Ohio, quite frankly. But one thing I want you to just touch base just slightly on is the creative economy itself. And I want the broader public to know that when we expend these kind of funds, it's not exclusively to an exclusive group that has access to the arts, but it fuels our economy in a way that allows us to do other things. It allows us to invest in deeper ways in the community. And so, one, if you could talk about just the creative economy impact, and then two, I love the public art program. I think it is, public art does help to define a community. When you you see pictures of this community, whether they're postcards or pictures of those pieces of art, can be iconic. They can define a community, and what people remember Central Ohio, oh, that's Columbus. And but it's so important to ensure that, and I know you use this word several times, that we're diverse in the artists, that we also bring their products, and not just in race, but gender, region, style, all those things. And I'm absolutely confident you're doing that. But if you just maybe take a little bit of a dive into that,
Sure.
that'd be great.
I appreciate the question. We are very deliberately focused on that. So I mentioned the 11,000 jobs. That's largely in the nonprofit sector. So it's musicians, performers, the people that work at CAPA, the people that work at the Art Museum, COSI, Ballet Met. It doesn't really include artists that are working in the private sector. They're graduates of like CCAD that have stayed here and work at Nationwide Insurance or wherever they are. So it's probably a low estimate. We're working a little bit on updating that with Lord, and we'll have that probably for you in a couple months. We've deliberately focused on the diversity of this community. It starts with our board, where you have made 3 appointments, and John and I talked about this yesterday. We have a couple openings on the board right now. But the board is more than reflective of the county's diverse population in terms of who is serving on our board, and we relish that and are very proud of that. We use the power of our purse, of our grants, the money that you give us, to really push this agenda with the arts organizations. So whether it's the museum or whether we have requirements for them to meet, reporting that we ask them to do in our grant applications. So we remain very focused on that. The fact that we have 26 navigators now in the community, I wish we could have them here with you today. I don't know whether they're on our website or not. Are they? Okay, so they are. You all nodded at the same time. Yes, yes. We're so proud of that we have people that are being compensated by us with funding that you would provide, that are representing us in the community and helping us to reach new populations. These new Americans, these new immigrant populations that are arriving here that we don't have visibility to. We know that this is ongoing work. This was forever work. We do not have the ability to touch all these people, so we need to have people out there representing us. Hopefully it will serve as a national model for some other arts organizations around the country too. So we do it in many different ways. We also do it in our grant making. So we are giving money to organizations that are strictly in the diverse space. So whether it's our Thrive program, whether it's monitoring what all these organizations are doing, because they all have programs in this. So we oversee that. Again, we have the power of the grant making to make sure that they're staying true to that, whether it's their boards, their staffs, what they're doing with the money that they're getting from us. On the public art piece, we are like basically the last community of our size to have a public art plan. It's very important that we do this now. I hear from all of you when you're traveling, most notably from John, about public art that he sees in other cities. So we have, the scan that we've done is of 23 cities. That information is posted on our website now. Curtis has been in on those meetings with us. The next step we've got to get to is how are we going to implement a plan in this county and in this city, and how are we going to fund that? That will be a key part of that. That's the next step that we're working on. There's meetings coming up in March on that. So that's where we are on both of those topics. Very devoted, very much a focus for us. Because we have financial stability now, it allows us to pay attention to these things and to really pursue these agendas. The other one that I would mention just for 2024 is space. We have an incredible need for new spaces, artist live work spaces, artist studio spaces. And Allison and I talk about that almost every single day. That is a definite need in the artist community right now. So there's a lot of dynamic in various neighborhoods on that. and we spend a lot of time on that also. So thank you for the question.
Outstanding. Any other comments or questions?
I just have a quick comment. Thank you. Good to see you as always.
Yeah.
I just want to make a quick comment. I was at a Brown Girls Mentoring event, not this past Saturday, but Saturday before last. I'm getting my days all mixed up. And a father who brought 2 daughters to the Black Her Story event, the first thing he did, he came up and was like, this was a great event. He and his girls had moved here from Zimbabwe, and the first thing that he commented on about the city in Franklin County was art, and how rich it was, and didn't see moving here to work at DSCC as a place that would be rich with art. And he, born in the UK, have been all around the world, and I was like, I am proud of the arts culture that we have here, in our creatives, whether it's in visual art or performing, or even in fashion, and that we're pretty proud of it, and that we're proud of our investment here at the county. But also knowing that there is going to be a more robust public arts plan coming, and we'll see that throughout the city is wonderful. And he was really excited. He writes books, and obviously for part of it is some illustration. But I was like, the fact that was the first thing that he mentioned, that was a surprise to him coming here, just made me feel good. But also, as I've shared with you last year, coming off of a trip to Brazil, and being there for transportation, but also they have a huge arts community in Curitiba, but taking the art and activism book there, as well as some other souvenirs from some local artists that you all provided, was just a big hit. And I continue to get comments when people come to my office about that book and some of the other things that the creatives have created. And so I just want to continue to say thank you for investing in our residents, our neighbors, and their businesses, because, but for the grants that you are providing, they wouldn't be able to do what they do and provide a service for our community in visualization. So thank you.
So I appreciate the observations. We would love to be connected to those folks.
Okay.
So if there's some way we can do that, get them out to some of our events, some of the fun stuff we do, and they can follow us and know of our programs. There might be a program that they would be eligible for also.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll make
so
that connection.
we'll make sure to do that. Good.
So, Tom, my 16 years as a county commissioner, you and I have been talking about public art for the entirety of my 16 years as a county commissioner. And yes, whenever I travel, I always come back and talk to you about public art that I see across the country and across the world. And by the way, my wife is watching right now, and she told me to tell you hello. Because you know as well as I do that what drives me and my interest in public art is my wife. And so if I didn't say that, if I didn't tell you to say hello, she would be all over my case. But one of the things that I'm sure that my colleagues would agree with me on is that when we travel, not only do we notice all the public art that we see everywhere else, and oh, by the way, there is the amount of public art that we have in Central Ohio, in Columbus and in Franklin County, has grown immensely. So thank you and kudos to you and your organization for all the work that you've been doing, because we hear about it. I used to, originally and initially, I complained that I would have to go to places like, I remember saying this to you very vividly, why do I have to go to Chattanooga, Tennessee and see more public art in Chattanooga,
You did
Tennessee?
say that to me, sir, yes.
Than here in Central Ohio. But I don't anymore. We notice and we understand and we see that there's a growing amount of public art here in Columbus and in Franklin County. And every time that I come back and I say, oh, I saw this in Nashville, or I saw this in New Orleans, or I saw this in wherever I was when I saw it, I come back and then we see examples all over Central Ohio. And to hear that we're doing 31 murals is phenomenal. But at the same time, we travel all over, and when we travel for NACO we meet with our colleagues and we hear from our colleagues all the time what a wonderful place Franklin County is. but at the same time, we also know that the secret of Columbus and Franklin County is still just that, sometimes a secret. And so one of the things that we need to do as a community, we need to do as county leaders, we need to work with GCAC to do, we need to work with Experience Columbus to do, we need to work with the city to do, is to continue to sell this community as a travel and tourism destination. We work on it all the time, we invest in it all the time, and we need to continue to do that. And a part of that is the investments that we make in public art, the investments that we make in GCAC, and the performing arts, and in artists, and and we make these investments not just because we want to beautify our community or that we want to enhance the artists and the arts community in our community, because it's an economic development driver, but because we want to make those investments so that those investments make a return in our community so that we can continue to do the work that we do here every day, day in and day out on behalf of the residents of this community. The motto on the wall in the back that says every resident every day is not just a nice thing that we say. It's something that we truly believe in every day. It's the work that we do, as Commissioner Crowley likes to say, on behalf of the kiddos, on behalf of the aging population that Director Wingo just spoke about a few minutes before you were up here. We believe that the investments that we make in economic development, the investments that we make in the arts, the investments that we make across the board, the investments that we make in Trevitt Elementary that were just up here earlier, all these investments go hand in hand to make a stronger economy, to make a stronger Franklin County, so that we can continue to make the type of investments that we have to make and that we need to make on behalf of all of our residents across the board. So we really appreciate you being here. This $4 million is not a handout just to a handful of artists. This $4 million is literally an investment in our entire community. And it's not just something so that we can, put up a few more murals or a few more sculptures. This is an investment that we believe in as an investment in our entire community, in every resident, every day.
So thank you. So a couple things. First of all, hello, Pam O'Grady, if you're out there. Public art is directly tied to economic development, jobs, workforce development, quality of life. That's obviously why we're doing this. There are more than, I think, 1,400, Jamie, pieces of public art in the county. People don't think about it like that. That already exists. It's not all put together in any one place, really, except on our website now. But part of the deep dive that we've already done is showcasing that. And I will tell you this, John, we're almost there. I mean, we have been talking about it for 16 years, but we are almost there. And I think the future looks tremendous. We have so much support. We did a survey, and I think 87% of the people, Jamie, want more public art in the county. I mean, I don't need to hear anything else. We're just going to drive this now. We do need a funding source for it, which will be part of the recommendations that we make to you and to City Council on this. So that'll come sometime this summer, and then we'll get to work on it. And we don't take this $4 million as an entitlement at all. We want to earn that every day with you. We don't charge any overhead against it, which I love that. So all the money is going out into the county to these artists and these arts organizations. You single-handedly got us through the pandemic. I know I've said that to you before, but during that year, we're all shaking their heads on that. We lost the ticket fee, we lost the bed tax, and we had the county money. And we didn't really have to cut any grants. We didn't have to lay off any staff. It was a very, very dark time. COSI closed for 13, 14 months, I think. That's just one example of what happened, but you guys got us through that, so thank you.
DC Long?
Commissioners, if I could just briefly, I just wanted to lift up two other items that GCAC is critically important and that makes our community such a rich place to live and families and thrive. The film industry. There is not an independent film that is released globally that doesn't come through our community and film festivals and book festivals and the support for authors and the community. I couldn't let this go by. This is part of why I love Columbus and Franklin County, but it's critically important and such a rich investment in the community on both of those topics. So thank you. I require everyone to go to independent bookstores wherever we travel. So,
I do, for the most part.
She's not kidding.
No, not at all. I am a bibliophile. You are a
Well,
bibliophile.
And
If there, oh, sorry.
and I'm glad you really brought up the time during the pandemic, you know, because I think we're still sort of recovering from that time. And so when you're in the heat of the moment, when things are happening, you kind of react and you kind of deal with things. And we are in a region, and enough of all this, but we are in a region that has different layers of government that understand and get the sort of regional responsibility we have in a growing place. There are so many places in Ohio and across the country that would kill to have our growth, to have our foundation, to have our communities. And in my investment banking life, you know, those are my clients. And I'm telling you, when you come back to a place like Central Ohio, you're like, oh my gosh, we don't know how good we've got it in terms of how we look at things like that. And the pandemic was just a true example of, I mean, we had a lot of tough decisions to make during that time and a lot's going on. And so now we can see the result that may at the time not looked that way to certain people, but the result is a much bigger cause, much bigger conversation. And so I'm glad you really brought that up, because I remember having to make the tough decisions. I mean, you know, on one hand, we're talking about using the convention center as a overflow to the hospitals and investing literally millions in that. On the other hand, we're trying to invest in things that will stabilize the community as we come out of the pandemic, so that we're not in a deeper economic hole. And it was tough decisions and tough days. And so I'm glad you brought that point up. Thank you. All right.
Thank you all very much.
If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 16824.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 16824 has been adopted. Resolution number 16924, resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant with Lutheran Social Services to provide gap funding to the Choices Domestic Violence Shelter in the amount of $1 million.
Commissioners, this resolution will provide a COVID-19 grant in the amount of $1 million to Lutheran Social Services to provide gap funding for their Choices Domestic Violence Shelter. Serving as the only domestic violence shelter in Franklin County, Choices offers services such as temporary emergency shelter, 24-hour crisis hotline, domestic violence counseling, and legal advocacy services. And if there are no questions or comments, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 16924.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 16924 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Resolution number 17024, resolution approving a COVID-19 recovery grant with the Community Partners Youth Development to support a co-working space and business resource hub for minority and underserved entrepreneurs in the amount of $1 million.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator, and joining me is Executive Director Derek Pennell. He's Executive Director for Community Partners Youth Development and Organization. Community Partners Youth Development Organization is a nonprofit organization established in 1999, whose mission is to be a leading provider of youth development services. Community Partners understands the hurdles that minority and underserved entrepreneurs face due to lack of education and fragmented resources, and therefore have created the Center of Entrepreneurial Development, better known as COED. COED's mission is to provide impactful support to minority and underserved entrepreneurs that wish to create and grow scalable, profitable, and sustainable business ventures by facilitating greater access to education, capital, and viable resources. Co-ed also offers one-on-one consultation, workshops, seminars, and conferences to both minority and underserved youth and adult entrepreneurs. Under this agreement, the Community Partners Youth Development will create 10 additional co-working spaces, community programming space, conference rooms, event space that will be utilized for the development of minority and underserved entrepreneurs. This resolution supports the Rise Together Blueprint, goal number 3, increasing access to relevant training for credentials that meet local demand with employer commitments to hire and promote, and racial equity, goal number 3, collaborate with residents, community partners, and institutions to promote racial equity in all areas of government, education, criminal justice, health, housing, and economic success to increase the value of services we provide to our community. Derek Pinero, again, is here to answer any questions you may have in regards to this resolution, and pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
I just wanted to say, one, thanks to Derek Purnell. Don't be fooled by the hat and the sweatshirt. He dresses like that all the time. You're brilliant, and I really appreciate your brilliance. And we need to be doing more projects like this that allow entrepreneurs to flourish, that allow ideas to grow, and that allow young people to expand their own knowledge and access to things and information. And then furthermore, I really appreciate what you did with with the site that ultimately was an eyesore and perhaps even environmental question if you hadn't saved that facility. And it's great for the county. I love these types of investments because it's a true public-private partnership kind of investment. And if the county does it, if we solely do it, the expense is great. But when someone like yourself steps up and says, I'm going to do my part, but I need some help. I want to partner with you to create this. That to me is the best scenario. To me, that's the best economic model. It's the best programmatic model, and it's the best sustainable model. And so I'm really looking forward to working closer with you as we channel entrepreneurs there, as we channel some of the young people. You've already got great things going, but there's so much growth opportunity there that I really think it's going to be a national model of public-private partnerships. So thank you so much for your work and what you represent. Please, Commissioner Carlin, I think DCA Bivens has something.
Thank you, President Boyce. Thank you, Derek, for all that you're doing, especially in the neighborhood over off of Livingston and not just Livingston, Maine, that whole area over there that is underserved. But I do have a question, and I haven't been there since, I don't know, has it been a year? I don't know. And I know it's come a long way since I came and did the tour. But for the public, if you could talk about, outside of just making co-working space available, can you talk about the Business Resource Hub, how you're going to be supporting small businesses, the types of opportunities that will be available for them, and why this investment will make a difference?
I think I can do that.
Okay.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm a little nervous. I've always used to just kind of doing great works behind the scenes, helping entrepreneurs. I've been an entrepreneur for 40 years. I've been supporting and helping entrepreneurs, probably 35 of those. This was something that was near and dear to me. Just to give you a little bit of my history, came up from here in Columbus in the projects, from Eastgate projects to Ridge Street projects. Graduated from East High. Went to Franklin University, graduated, went to law school. Was a sports agent. For me, it was important to come back and give back to my community. Became a developer, real estate developer. And so I began purchasing properties that were being gentrified. It was important to me to maintain a presence in the communities. That's why I bought the building on 1890 East Main Street, 40,000 square feet, converted into office space for minority entrepreneurs. We currently have 90 plus tenants. I know when you came through, it was pretty empty, it was just an empty warehouse, but I've invested over $2 million of my own money into the vision. Then what happened, we got a lot of the people who came through before, now see the vision, understand what it is we're doing. I think it's important to note that the name Center of Entrepreneurial Development is the center of, not the center for. So it's not about the building itself, but it's proximity. We're in the center of entrepreneurial development. It's an ecosystem where we're bringing partners together, being true partners and understanding how we work together for a common goal, which is helping the community. There's so many partners that we have now with the city, the state, Nationwide Children's, OSU, Franklin University, Columbus State. They get the vision. We're excited about the build out of the event space. We've already been hosting events. We have classes, workshops for youth, for entrepreneurs. We did the Girl Code for the young ladies. We did Accelerate Columbus there. We do Monday night networking events every second and fourth Monday. Last night we did pop-ups where we took about 6,000 square feet. We allow individual entrepreneurs to do pop-ups for free. They can stay in the space, so it's almost like a pseudo-permanent, because we felt like, when folks aren't popped up, they're shut down. So we provided them with an opportunity to keep their pop-ups going 24/7, so they have access to the building. So it's really just having a heart for entrepreneurs and understanding, the trials and tribulations that they go through, and really being a change agent, because we believe if you really want to see change, then you have to be a disruptor. I encourage you guys to visit now. You'll see a lot more. It makes so much sense. You can't even speak to the magnitude of the impact that it's making now and that it will make in the future. I've since purchased the properties at Main and Fairwood, and we're putting a vocational training center there as well as creative art space. I purchased 2 warehouses on Rich Street, right next to River and Rich, where we'll have co-ed for the arts and music. And the latest was the purchase of the neighborhood house and Sawyer Rec Center. And so, I'm doing my part and my commitment, my sacrifice, but I really believe that I'm looking forward to the partnerships, because that's what makes the difference. Competition kills community. And so I really want to show folks how, if we work together, we can make a true impact, particularly in the community as it regards to entrepreneurship. So, hope that helps.
What high school did you say you went to again?
East High.
I'm sorry, can you say it one more time?
East High
Oh,
Tigers.
okay. I'm sorry. So I thought I heard that. Please say Bivens.
Thank you, Mr. Purnell. Just really appreciate all that you're doing for the community. For the audience sake, I just want to make mention really quick of the Poverty Blueprint Plan. Commissioners, you remember when we did the Poverty Blueprint Plan, what we understood and learned during that time was wealth has been maintained in a certain part of our county. However, poverty has been retained in the same part of our community due to several factors, redlining and all this. So I really want to commend you, because I see this as wealth building. Many times in county government, we don't get the opportunity to talk about wealth building because we're always trying to make sure that folks have jobs so they can stabilize, which is important. But wealth building is so important to our community because it provides jobs and it really impacts our community. So thank you, commissioners. And my last thing, Mr. Purnell, if you could just tell us, if I am a business owner, how do I take advantage of acquiring some office space if I need it through this resource?
So you can always stop in 1890 East Main Street. You can go to our website, which is columbuscoed.com. You can email us at info@columbuscoed.com. We built out the building in September, and by October 1, we were at 100% occupancy. So even what we're talking to today, the conference center, actually on the upper mezzanine, we're building out more offices because the demand is there. We're providing some offices for ESOs, entrepreneur support organizations, like your ECDI, Freedom Equity, banks, people that need to be on site to assist the entrepreneurs. those are other partners that we have. So, yeah, office space is, it's needed. It's needed, and so we're going to keep on building because, we believe that, again, the ecosystem, because it was important for us to, even as we were bringing in the tenants, we wanted them to be subject matter experts as well. So they also serve as the resources, so they're not just, people hanging out. Like, so when people come in, get with an intake specialist, kind of see where the entrepreneur is in their journey, then we know how to direct them accordingly. So, as we're looking to expand, we definitely are keeping that in mind, and we will do what we can to help assist entrepreneurs with office space. But some of them, and then once part of this build out also includes parking, and then there's a lot right at Rhodes in Maine that we purchased, and we were going to put a parking lot there. We believe we need a parking garage. So I'll be back up here, but nonetheless, the space is needed, and we're really trying to accommodate the best we can. You're very welcome.
Any further comments or questions? Okay.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed, so sounds fantastic. If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 17024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 17024 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Economic Development Planning.
Resolution number 17124, resolution responding to the February 6, 2024 notice received concerning the proposed creation of a tax increment financing incentive district in the city of Dublin.
Good morning, Commissioners, Administration, and all those in attendance. My name is Emmanuel Torres. I'm Assistant Director of Economic Development and Planning. The City of Dublin seeks to create a TIF incentive district called the Towns on the Parkway TIF to support the construction of a new residential development project of approximately 154 new family-attached homes. Formal notice to the board was received on February 6, 2024, that the proposed TIF would be created for a term of 30 years, and the percentage exempted from taxation would be 100%. This resolution formally objects to the exemption in excess of 10 years for the proposed TIF incentive district. It also directs staff to work with the City of Dublin to negotiate a compensation agreement for the proposed TIF district. If the City of Dublin proceeds to create the TIF district without reaching a compensation agreement, then the county shall be compensated by a default rate as it is set in Section 5709.40 E2 of the Ohio Revised Code. The County Clerk's Office has received instructions to provide notice to the City of Dublin on the action taken today. And pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 17124.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 17124 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Jobs and Family Services.
Resolution number 17224, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Research Institute at Nationwide Children's Hospital, doing business as Abigail Wexner Research Institute for the Southside Thrive Family Support Services Initiative in the amount of $32,849.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Carmen Barnes, Assistant Director, Job and Family Services. The Southside Thrive Collaborative is a place-based collective impact initiative that supports Southside residents in living healthy, fulfilling lives by strengthening the efforts of community partners. The collaborative focuses on advancing program outcomes in areas that align with the social determinants of health framework, including housing stability, economic mobility, health outcomes, and civic engagement. Under this last award period, Southside Thrive, through its Neighborhood Navigator program, provided 155 residents with linkages to health and social services, such as food assistance, primary care providers, prenatal care providers, mental and emotional wellness, and behavioral health providers. Under this new award, the Southside Thrive Collaborative will refer and connect no less than 185 TANF-eligible residents to food, housing assistance, behavioral health providers, workforce training, and transportation services. This resolution supports Poverty Blueprint Goal number 10, and pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 172-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yeah.
Commissioner Boyce?
Abstain.
Resolution number 172-24 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention. Resolution number 173-24, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Asbury North United Methodist Church on behalf of the Central Ohio Parent Leadership Training Institute to promote positive parenting and engagement in the amount of $99,995.50.
The Central Ohio Parent Leadership Training Institute helps increase parent involvement and foster family unity while promoting lifelong health and safety and learning. The program puts an emphasis on cultural enrichment, providing parents with socio-emotional resources and tools to empower positive parenting, problem-solving, and engagement in effective conflict resolution. The training also focuses on serving underserved populations and assists them in overcoming academic, social, and emotional challenges with an eye on long-term self-sufficiency. Over the last award period, they worked with 63 Franklin County residents, and over the upcoming award period, they seek to serve a minimum of 50 families from neighborhoods on the Near East Side, Linden, and the South Side of Columbus. This award aligns with the Rise Together Poverty Blueprint Goal number 13, and pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 173-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 173-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 174-24, resolution approving a COVID-19 recovery grant with Bessa Community Incorporated for volunteer event coordination to support distressed Franklin County neighborhoods in the amount of $300,000.
Bessa Community, Inc. is a Columbus nonprofit organization whose mission is to inspire volunteer service and transform civic engagement by bringing the community together in meaningful, impactful ways. A core initiative of the organization is to support distressed neighborhoods blighted by poverty that are critically under-resourced. Over the last award period, Bessa surpassed its annual goal, engaging more than 3,800 volunteers to assist with community events throughout our county. With this year's recovery grant, Bessa plans to coordinate 25 initiatives per month, with totaling up to 300 per year, in neighborhoods across Franklin County, such as the Near East Side, South Linden, and the Hilltop area. They hope to reach approximately 3,000 residents through this grant. This resolution aligns with the Rise Together Poverty Blueprint Goal number 10, and pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 174-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 174-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 175-24, resolution approving a subaward amendment with Jewish Family Services for workforce employment services for an increase of $200,000 for a revised total of $350,000.
The Community Renewal Enrichment Through Work program, also known as CREW, will work with 75 adult job seekers at or below 300% of the federal poverty level. Participants receive workforce training and soft skills development training, like resume building, interviewing, and job search strategy skills. Job seekers are also paired with a career counselor to help create an individual employment plan that identifies their goals. These counselors work with them to remove barriers to achieving their goals. During the last award period, 85 residents were enrolled in the CREW program. Over 75 of those enrolled attained employment, earning an average hourly wage of $19.89 per hour. Under this award, Jewish Family Services will look to recruit 75 Franklin County residents into the program and place them in jobs paying a minimum of $17 an hour. This amendment would extend the expiration date of the current agreement through February of 2025, adding one additional year of program. This resolution also aligns with goal number 4 of the Rise Together Blueprint, and pending any questions, we ask your approval for this resolution.
Thank you. DCA Bivens?
Thank you, Commissioner. Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator of Health and Human Services. Carmen, can you make sure that when the commissioners, when they get that status report for the jobs that these residents were placed, can we look at the industries as well as the wages, so then that way we can possibly align them with some of our other workforce programs?
We can.
Yep, thank you.
Outstanding, thank you.
If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 175-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 175-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 176-24, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Job and Family Services Director to authorize and execute inter-county adjustment agreements of allocated funds on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners.
The state formula used to allocate federal funds to counties is based off census data and does not allow counties to request adjustments. Any unspent county allocations at the end of the fiscal year revert back to the state for use by the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. However, a state law passed in 2013 allows counties to trade unused funds from one area for funds in an area where there is additional need, such as our food assistance, employment training, or FAYET program. These are prudent and allowable expenses that mutually benefit each county. This resolution will authorize the director to enter into and execute inter-county adjustments of funds for state fiscal years 2024 and 25 in accordance with resolution number 0483-23. Assistant Director Christy Russell has joined us virtually to answer any questions if you have them. Pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
If there are no further comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 176-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 176-24 has been adopted.
Great, thank you. Next is Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 177-24, resolution authorizing a contract extension number 1 with Family Tree Landscaping and the Keller Group Limited to provide mowing and landscaping services at designated Franklin County facilities in the amount of $150,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Vivian Alexander, Chief Operating Officer for Public Facilities Management. Public Facilities Management is responsible for the facility and property needs of various agencies and offices of Franklin County. This resolution authorizes contract extension number 1 with Family Tree Landscaping and the Keller Group Limited to provide mowing and landscaping services at designated Franklin County facilities. The term of the contract extension is for 1-year period with 3 optional 1-year extension periods remaining and is not to exceed contract. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 177-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 177-24 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, too. Purchasing.
Resolution number 178-24, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $3,610,491.26.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tracy Matthew, Assistant Director of Purchasing, and joining me is Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 83 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. Tamika has prepared the supplier diversity data to share with you today. Good morning, Tamika.
6 of the purchase orders being presented today are being awarded to small emerging businesses totaling $642,641.15. 2% are being awarded to minority-owned businesses and 3% to women-owned businesses. Once these are approved, 5 agencies have provided equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week. These agencies include Clerk of Courts, Domestic Relations and Juvenile Courts, Job and Family Services, Purchasing, and the Sheriff's Office. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval for Resolution 178-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 178-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Resolution number 17924, resolution approving one purchase order for the Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency in the amount of $519.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of one purchase order for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 17924.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes. Or abstain, sorry.
Resolution number 17924 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you.
Or are you laughing at me? Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 18024, resolution authorizing an agreement with engineer Bradley W. Foster to serve as Franklin County Drainage Engineer.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. In 2003, the Board of Commissioners established a countywide stormwater sewer district for the unincorporated areas of Franklin County under the provisions of Chapter 6117 of the Revised Code. Pursuant to Section 6117.01 and 315.14 of the Revised Code, the Commissioners are authorized to enter into an agreement with the county engineer to serve as the drainage engineer. Previously, the Board approved Resolution 475-17 to authorize a drainage engineer agreement with Cornell Robertson, who retired as county engineer on January 31st, with the appointment of Bradley W. Foster to serve the remainder of the county engineer's term pursuant to Section 305.02. A new drainage engineer agreement is required. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 18024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 18024 has been adopted. Resolution number 18124, resolution authorizing a contract with Mapsys Incorporated to provide support services for the Commissioner's Resolution Management System in the amount of $24,038.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lauren Gressel, Deputy Clerk and Assistant Director of Community Appointments. This resolution is for a one-year contract for support services for our Resolution Management System, CRMS, and pending any questions, we'll ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move approval of Resolution 18124.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 18124 has been adopted. Resolution number 18224, resolution appointing Dean M. Hindenlang, Ph.D., to the Franklin County Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Services Board.
Commissioners, this appointment is to fill the unexpired term of Tamara Howard. Dr. Henenlang was on with us today, but he had to jump off for another appointment, but he had prepared a statement that he wanted me to read.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Commissioners, it is an honor to be appointed to the Board of Trustees for Adam Age.
Okay, thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm confident that with Adam H. Chair Doran and CEO Erica Clark-Jones' guidance, I will find appropriate ways of utilizing my skills and expertise most effectively in serving every resident every day with the Adam H. Board of Trustees. Thank you for your confidence and care in appointing me to the Adam H. Board, one of Franklin County's gems, and assisting residents in deeply impactful and meaningful ways. Thank you.
Okay. I will move approval of Resolution 18224.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 18224 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Great. Are there any journalizations?
We have two. The 2024 committee assignments for the Board of Commissioners regarding SWACO has been updated to assign Chelsea Barnett as Commissioner Boyce's designee. The noted assignment will be filed with today's meeting minutes for the record and will be distributed to our internal and external partners who may be impacted with this selection. And finally, the document that has been presented to each of you today has been provided to your offices via email, and it will be journalized as required under Resolution Number 68323, the no-cost amendment resolution. The clerk's office has been tracking each contract every month as required under this resolution, and hereby will journalize the attached document.
Great, thank you. If there are no further business before the Commissioners, that concludes our meeting. Thank you so much.